Oh, good morning, Marcus. I was off to a late start because I somehow slept through my alarm. Even though the last couple days I've actually woken up 20 to 30 minutes before my alarm at 5. This time I decided to get up at 5:35 on my own. I was busy having an annoying dream. Okay, so a couple things. I talked to Chad about this, and this is not his fault. He's not the designer of these models. But the barrel on the 2 pounder Matilda is way too long. Way too long. It just looks funny as shit. Let's see if I could do this on the fly. I need to be able to do this on the fly, what I'm about to do. Let's see. How do I do this? Let's turn this off so I can see the screen a little better. And I think what I need to do... I am in Streamlabs. Okay, so it's... okay, it's webcam. So I can open the properties here, right? And front resolution, no, not that one. Definitely don't want to deactivate. Let's try configure video. Oh wait, yeah, okay. So this little thing comes up, and there I can adjust the zoom. It apparently defaults back to 1. Come on. Oh my gosh, you're running slow. Let's go apply and go okay. And now we'll close this. Okay. And there we go. The barrel is way too long. The barrel should be pretty much even with the end of this tank. Should be this length. So, and also it has a little tip where it comes out and it's exaggerated, almost cartoon-like. So I'm actually fine with it being flush. So I'm going to cut this thing off. I'm not going to do it right now. But I'm going to cut off probably... How many mil is that? Really? All these rulers and I can't find one. Oh, they're right here. I can't bloody see them. Or maybe they're not right here. They fell down. I'm going to take like 5 millimeters off. That's a good round number, but I'll look into that. I'm not going to do that right now, but I'm going to take it on both of them. Like, geez, can't we get one Matilda right? What's wrong with this tank? And one thing that's ubiquitous about the Matilda is that it has this almost like this tarp that's always rolled over on this side of the turret, on the left hand side of the turret, and it's actually like on a little carrier ledge. And I'm probably going to put some kind of tarp or something on that. One little hole to fill there in the top of the barrel. So we'll shorten this and then drill the end out. There's a little bit of a divot. So, yeah, it's just, when something looks wrong, it probably is. I mean, the Matilda looks like a Matilda. I mean, it looks like it's a good looking tank, I think. Maybe if you took those armored skirts off, it wouldn't be. Okay. What else we got in the bag here? Okay, here's the Panzer 2F. I'm not going to worry about the accoutrement at this point, but I am going to keep them in the vehicle that they come in. Oh, this has got, that one's even interlocking. All right, so let's get his Jack the Knife Man out here. And this right here. Yeah, we're going to have to start calling this the Marcus and Tony show. Marcus and Tony in the morning. Wow, look at this. Look at this exhaust pipe. I don't know if that's in focus because it's not in focus for me because I can't see anything. It's got even the divot on the exhaust pipe. This is just absolutely incredible. I'm glad I'm going to be able to paint and make all this stuff show up. You can load them out of my stash and I'm going to repaint. It looks a bit long. I forget the maker of this kit. We'll send you a picture. Yeah, go look at pictures of real Matildas. Like, that's not what they look like. It looks weird. You're like, what's wrong with it? I mean, they wish they had a barrel that long. Be able to knock shit out. And I told him, I said, well, if you're gonna, he's like, well, I'll contact the designer. I said, well, if you contact the designer, contact 3D and ask if they can make a 2-pounder version of the A10 as well, because this is the howitzer version. Not that I have a problem having the howitzer version. So apparently, you know, a normal person would say, oh, they built the howitzer version because the 2-pounder, which is what most of the tanks are, don't have an HE capability. Apparently, they did make a round for the 2-pounder HE, but they didn't ship it to anybody. Something like that. That's the short version of it. And so this has the howitzer. I think it's a 3-inch howitzer. I could be wrong. It was mainly to fire smoke. Mainly to, oh, there's an AT gun there, fire smoke, and go some, you know, to cover your retreat. And they had some HE rounds, which was mainly to fire smoke. I'm like, that's, like, I'd want to pay people back, man. That seems very accusatory. Oh, sorry, Mr. Pack, we didn't see that. Sorry about that. You know? Just sent messenger. Okay, what do we got? Maybe I can tell you what kit it is. Let's see what we got here. I don't know what it is, but is it too long? It should not extend past the fender at all. It should not extend past the fender at all. Yeah, it looks too long there too. I mean, not as long as this one. So here's an interesting thing. You got a vision block here in the back of the compartment. Who's looking through there? Like the driver's up here. Got two guys in the turret a little bit higher. It's the backup thing. That's the backup camera. Well, there's no backup camera. Hans, go look to the slit. That is a little piece that is got molded into it. That's one of those little cones with a point, and it's molded into it. What is it that I say? If anybody can get it out, I can get it out. I can get it out. Big thing is, I'm not in a hurry. We'll get this done when we get this done. And then I think we're gonna prime the Brits, and we'll do all the Brits first. And the first German we're gonna do is probably a little half track. I need to make some decisions on how I'm gonna number these things. Because I want to be really methodical about this. I want to be really methodical about it. This is going to have a 4. This has got to be the 4th company. You doing all your numbers in black? You going to paint these for the... They're not for the desert? Yeah, that's going to be either an Airfix or a Fujimi. It's got to be one of those two things. It's the only people that made it in... And it's 176, I'm sure. Or the Ashy one. That's it. That's the only people that made it. I mean, it looked good, you know. I mean, this was better, but this is also a lot more modern, you know. So anyways, he was gonna try to reprint it with a smaller barrel. I'm like, hey, I'll modify this one. It's not a big deal. We don't want to use Chad Miracles, man. There's probably a limited number of them, and you know, let's use them for real emergencies. Let's use them for real emergencies. Things I can't fix. Uh-huh. Now, he was showing me how he modified it, man. I could spend a lot of time. I wish I had the CAD program to do that. Yeah, this is simple stuff. I mean, the stuff is there. You just have to you would just have to modify it. But these guys that are printing this stuff, I don't know who works for Wargame 3D, but do they paint? Yeah, here we go. Like those guys on Scalemates. I forgot what model it was. I'll think about it here in a second. But it was a Sherman thing. This guy did this whole article, extremely well written. Researched, he lined up all the Sherman holes in 1/72nd scale. Told you how it was different, and this one was wrong, and this one should have had this other thing, and this one was supposed to have this over here, and you got to use this hole. Like really anal retentive stuff that I can appreciate. Like way over the top of my level of interest. And then when it was time for him to paint it, he was just almost got spray paint, went, and he was done. I'm like, hello? Why did you put this much effort into it if you weren't going to like paint it, do a good job painting it? I think it's Airfix. I painted it for BEF, which is wrong. Yeah, for DAK, I'm going to go to black numbers with white outline. Panzer 2 is the 8th company. Yep, that's where they should be. Well, they shouldn't be. They started being mixed with all the other companies, with the medium companies. Actually, I think they actually called the Panzer III companies the light companies. I could be wrong, but anyways, they used to be mixed with the Panzer IIIs, a few of them in every company, and then eventually, towards the end of 41 and definitely into 42, they started just attaching them to the Mark IV, to the fourth or the eighth company, or at regimental levels, at battalion and regimental levels, almost like courier vehicles. Hey, go tell that guy over there where he needs fire support. Okay, so he gets in his little Panzer II, and goes and does the thing. And if they encounter something on the way, they can, That's all the voices. That's all the noises for this morning. It's funny because I had no idea how these autocannons worked until I watched Saving Private Ryan. You know that scene where they push the flak, the little flak 20. I'm like, that's how that thing fires. Yeah, that's the same thing as in the Panzer II. I mean, it's not exactly the same weapon, but it's fed the same way. Magazine fed. Like, that's annoying, man. That'll give you a headache, even if it doesn't penetrate. Yeah, so my Panzer IV will be fours, and if they die, it's your fault because you made me put them in the death company. I would have done it anyways. But I'm gonna do mine in red. It makes sense that the first battalion would be red and the second one would be in black, since it seems like they used both. And I like the way the black and white vehicles, on gray vehicles, I like the way the black and white looks better than the red and white. I think the red and white is like really like, it can be a little too much. Interesting that every one of these things here, this box right here, this box right here, and this little box here, both have like two little melted prong symbols on it. I think that's a process of the 3D printing. I mean, the only reason I would see it is I got my contacts out, so I've got, supervision on. +6. And this is just a feast. Now I know what a feast for the eyes are. This. There's all kinds of stuff to look at it. Okay, and this one has this little thing that's connected to it. It looks like it's permanently connected to it. We'll see if we can pull it off. Now I think we need to do this. We do this with not clipping one of these other things in the way. I don't want to do it that way, because I could clip the front of that. Do you have anything other than, let's see. That's beautiful. small enough to go in there and sand that. That's probably not even going to be noticeable. All right. Oh, I see you. Oh, there's one here. One there. Yeah, these Panzer IIs have been relegated eventually to what you would call in Spanish, correveidile. Run and go tell him, but written like one word. Panzer II, the 8th Company, mine has bags over the guns, so probably be a spotter for the Panzer IVs. There you go. Blame the Chinese. What are we blaming the Chinese? Blame the Chinese government. You don't want to blame the Chinese people, right? Those poor people in Hong Kong, man. They shouldn't have given that back. Screw them. Make them take it. Well, that's probably not a good idea either. Now this, I have to take a look at this. This looks like it might be a piece of the 3D cast, but I'm not so sure. Because it looks like there's something underneath it. Yeah, that's a 3D piece. We'll look into it before we go ripping that thing off. All right, now the suspension here. Before sounding like death. Well, I don't speak Chinese, so I'd be like saying, you gotta change your name. Why? Oh, because Tony sounds like, a butt screwing in Martian. Like, well, I've never met a Martian, so I'm okay. I have had family members, two family members, as a matter of fact, they got stopped at an airport, and through security, I wasn't with them. I would be very irate if this ever happened to me. Disclaimer. This would be one of those contact your congressman things, which I've never contacted my congressman, and I don't want to ever. But this would be the catalyst for it. They basically stopped by airport security and got held for a long period of time because their name was similar to somebody who was involved in, illicit activities. Like, well, what the hell do you have a social security number for? If you're going to be blamed for other people, let's just do away with social security numbers. I mean, I have the same name as my dad, but we had different social security numbers. Why even have a social security number if you're going to go with just a name? Anyhow, so one of them asked, well, what do I need to do to prevent this? And they said, change your name. Yeah, okay. Let somebody say that to me. It said something like, "So I'm named after somebody that's involved in illicit activities." Yes. Well, why don't you freaking go find that person? Or are you just gonna sit around like stopping the wrong people, asshole? Like go out, like you already know who they are. Go find them. I got somebody that I went to a local game store and they have this rewards thing. I don't know that it's a rewards thing, but they want to know what your email is so they can send your receipts and stuff there. Which honestly, I think is a good idea. I'm not a save the earth type of person, but man, we waste way too many resources on receipts. When's the last time you needed a receipt? Practical, not. When's the last time you needed a receipt? And we're just printing these things out like, you know, like I'll go somewhere and I'll get a soda somewhere. I go to Walgreens, say, and I want to go do something there, maybe put it in a prescription, and get a soda on the way out. Why are they giving me a receipt for a soda? I'm not bringing it back. You know, Lit- litigious paper-induced society. So, anyways, I go to this place. I enter my email, and I said, "Well, what's your name?" So I tell him my name. I said, "Oh, so this is you." And I'm like, "No." So somebody else not only had the same last name as me and goes by my same first name, is a gamer, has gone into the game store. This is not a big place. And apparently was swift enough to get a Gmail account as what I use for my work one, which is T Aguilar for at my whatever my work address. They got a T Aguilar at gmail.com. Like, how the hell were you able to get on off the thing? And you live in this town? I'll find that person. I've lived in that town since 1981. Whoever that is, that's some kind of fucking noob from South Florida. I got first dibs on that. You can have that when I've died off, and I'm not done yet. We got Panzers to build. I was surfing secondhand models on eBay, and by secondhand ones, I mean ones that are already built. I'd like to have about three or four. Now, I'd get one and see how it works out. Messerschmitt 109, but one that's like, like basically trashed, because I need to make a wreck out of it. And I think I don't necessarily need to make a wreck out of it. I need to make a wreck because it sounds like, oh, a crash landed one. No, I need ones that were sitting on the runway and they got overrun by the 7th Armored Division. And they got strafed on the ground, from the ground. That might be too tall an order. I'm telling you, man, CD Rosé all the way. And there is a video game that has a CD Rosé map of the airfield on it. And I think it's a mod. It's a Desert World War II mod for a Battlefield game, which I've never played. So I might look into getting that because it's probably super cheap just for ideas. But there's a couple of people that do like play around videos, and I'm like, oh, there's like these ruins over here that you use as a command just for inspiration. Okay, so there's something about this Coulon models I don't like. Uh-oh. I don't really like that they have these little bolt holes. There's recessed bolt holes in it. I mean, it adds something else to look at, but I don't know. It just seems out of scale. Well, this thing's pretty tender. And just so you know, let's just say for argument's sake that I have a Matilda. I'm not a Matilda. That I have some Valentines on the way. You know, just for argument's sake. I'm going to make one of them for Tunisia. And I'm going to, for that one scenario that was the everybody comes on the board from the CD Boo Boo scenario, might as well. Might as well make one of them for, I mean, they come in 3-packs, so one of them will be a mark, whatever they are, for Tunisia. And we can paint in desert pink. Hey, I got the paint set. I know you guys would want to see me pull that off. This. Paint one like this. Dark olive and desert pink. Yeah, baby. Gotta run soon. Busy morning ahead. I think things start to slow down by Friday. Have a good day. You too, man. I got a few minutes left in me. Today's my late day at work. Or as I like to say, the day I don't get to choose when I leave. Let's make sure everything fits fine. Oh yeah, all these fit nicely in here. Great fit. Oh man, great fit. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, this material is actually really good. Whatever Chad's using. This was bent a little bit. I just bent it back. That's what I don't like about resin is it's not very giving. I wish this had a better tip on it. A little bit there, a little bit there. And I want to say this stuff, this repositionable gel, is more expensive than standard super glue. But you need to be able to, like, say, dot all these things and then give it a second and be able to get everything into position. All right. Line the front. All the wheels there. All these fit in fine. This is a Panzer 2F by Coulon Miniatures. Printed by Iron Horse Collectibles. Paid for by me. Everybody has a contribution to it. All right, we'll do the same thing on the other side. Let's make sure that it fits in there so we don't have a boo-boo. apparent problems. Oh, there's one prong that's actually missing from this last road wheel. Not a problem. Shit happens, man. It's not like it's not going to hold into place. You know, some of this resin material, and I really like it, this is not a complaint, almost feels like wax. And it has some give to it. It's not like brittle like most resin is, that it'll crack and break before anything else. And then we have a turret that is open, and I believe it opens back. But before I do that, before we glue it in place and have a disaster, let's take a look at a Panzer IIF and confirm that. Okay. Panzer IIF. You know, and I'm not looking to make sure that everything's accurate. Well, this guy's super anal retentive, and I mean that in a good way. It's like it opens to the side. Yeah, this is what my markings will be on my vehicle like. See, I just want to look inside this image. I want to make this image bigger. Let's avoid the crooked spider so we don't run into issues. Just a single digit. Just a single digit on the turret in red with a white outline, and then the back of the turret. Well, maybe we can't do it on this one. Actually, we have to use really small ones. Have the full number somewhere else. You know, because if you have two of them and they're part of like the fourth company, they can't be both called number 4. You know, it's like 411 or something like that. And it happens to be, you know, well, it wouldn't be, the first number wouldn't be a 1 because it wouldn't be the command vehicle. It'd be like a 4. Anyhow, yeah, and then there's some things that just look weird. Like look at this numbering system. This is obviously a Barbarossa vehicle. You know, 333. Like there may be an actual vehicle that used that, but you put that on a model and it doesn't look right. You got to explain that to every single person. Like, oh, that's what they look like. You know. Yeah, this vehicle here. Here's a Roman numeral 2. That's the 2nd Battalion. It's one of the battalion vehicles in the headquarters company of the battalion. Yeah, this is the kind of like what Marcus is going to do. A big 8, black and white. The black and white looks good too. The black and white looks good too. Okay, it looks like it opens off to the side. In other words, it opens like this. Well, regardless, we don't have to glue that right now. It's actually a good looking vehicle. The Panzer IIs are. Something looks off about it. Like the turret's not wide enough. I don't know. I'm sure it's just my imagination. Maybe this has so many extra boxes that I'm not used to. Maybe it's just extra boxes over here I'm not used to looking at. It's throwing off the zen of this vehicle. Okay. Now, that's the 2F. We're going to keep that in there. Where's the 2? That's a Panzer III. That's the other Panzer III. What's here? Panzer III stuff. All right, where's the 3C? Okay, that's Panzer III stuff. That's a Panzer III. Okay. That's a Panzer III. That's a Panzer III. What are you doing over here? 2C. And this is a 2C that's specifically made for North Africa. These are very similar. I'm not sure if I know what the difference is without looking at it. This might be an angle on the front of the hull. I've got 2Cs and I have a 2F and I haven't looked at them close enough. Yeah. Yeah, it has this angle here. So you've got the front of the fighting compartment is straight here, and here it's angled. So they've got a vision port here at 90 degrees instead of having one here at 45. They have the backup camera on both of them. The C's normally everything up to the F normally did not have a box here on the back. It's one of the few German tanks that looks just fine to me without the box. Panzer IIs look fine with or without. I like them both. Start getting into 3s and 4s, they look really weird without that box on them, at least to me. Right, that comes off. And the detail on this hitch is insane. Now I don't think I've ever seen a picture of a Panzer II hauling anything. They probably haul like a little fuel trailer or something. It's not like they're going to haul a Pack 36. I mean, I guess they could, but and this is a vehicle that the running gear on it, I think, is really attractive. I think a Panzer II running gear looks really good. Really, really good. That's the things that I'll say for most German things, and that's why I think German things are popular. Most of their equipment either looks cool, either looks good, cool, or wicked looking. Almost everything. There's exceptions, but almost everything is one of those three adjectives. It's either attractive, it looks cool, or it looks wicked, or it looks wicked cool. Good, wicked, cool. Almost every single thing in their arsenal. They have very few things that would be in the dumbass looking category. They do. Everybody has them. And then some other things, some other nations have more dumbass looking things. The Russians don't have very many, I don't think, very many dumbass looking things either. Their stuff looks pretty good too. Even something like a T-26. Now here's that same piece that's here. That didn't take off. I better take a close look and make sure that's not a something. I'm a lot more comfortable pulling these things off with a tweezer than I am with the X-Acto knife. Because X-Acto knife, I also have to be careful I don't go in and ding up the resin. Although I think this is pretty much hardening as we speak.